Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. If you're joining us live, it's 3:30 here in the afternoon. It's been a beautiful day. I think today's going to be a little bit cooler than tomorrow. Tomorrow we're expecting a top of 35 here in Wollongong, or I've seen some weather weather apps say I might get to 36 or even 37. So we'll wait and see what eventuates tomorrow. But yeah, today was beautiful. I sat outside for a little bit. I hope you've had a really nice Saturday. And that you are planning something nice for this evening as well, wherever you are, wherever you're watching from. I will be posting this to my Facebook page, so if you are watching later, you'll be able to catch it if you missed the live. I've got something really lovely to show you. Just a quick little housekeeping announcement. If you're a demonstrator and watching this, feel free to comment and share what you think of my card. I'd love to get your feedback and I'd love your encouragement and your comments. And I don't mind if you comment from your Facebook, your demonstrator professional Facebook page. That doesn't worry me at all. I think it's great to give each other a bit of encouragement from our colleagues out there, and I always love it when other demonstrators that I admire come on and give me encouragement, and I try to do the same to them. So I encourage that on my page. I just wanted to let you know that. So you don't have to switch out of your demonstrator profile in order to make a comment on my videos or any of my Facebook posts. Please don't feel that you have to do that. I'm going to get going with the card that I am going to show you today. And it is a card that is made with one of the suites from the mini catalogue. If you don't have a mini catalogue and you don't have a demonstrator looking after you, message me and I can get one to you. Happy to send you one in the mail. It's a great book, it's a great catalogue to have just for inspiration, even if you don't have any of the products that are in there yet. You can use the images and the ideas, the layouts, the colours, from all the beautiful samples in there for your own crafting. So I'm happy to send one to you. If you would like one, let me know, and I'm happy to pop one in the post. So let me switch around. I'm just going to pop my phone in the cradle so that you have a bird's eye view of my creative space. Now, I always show you only a section of my creative space. Usually my space is quite messy, so I push all of the bits that I don't want you to see out of shot, and the bits that I do want you to see will remain hopefully in the camera, in focus. So that's why I pop my phone in the cradle so that it is ready to go. So I'm just hoping that a few people will join us live. If not, you can leave a comment later if you're watching this not live. Maybe you're all out enjoying the sunshine. That's where I would be if I wasn't in here as well. So I might resume my book reading a little bit later. Because I think the days are getting longer, which is nice. And I think daylight saving starts this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, don't quote me on that. I need to look that up. I think that might be the case. It might be tonight. Let me have a look. I will have a look when I finish my video here. So if you are in New South Wales, in Australia, daylight saving usually starts the first weekend in October. So I'm pretty sure that's tonight. So, but we lose an hour tonight. So it's the bad one. The winter one's the good one, right? When we gain an hour. But yes, we're losing an hour, I believe. All right, so let me show you the bits and pieces that I have. We are using the suite called Garden Walk, and you'll find that on page 52 and 53 of the mini catalogue, which came out about a month ago now. We've had this catalogue. So that's this one here, the green one. And as I said, if you don't have one and you don't have a demonstrator looking after you, let me know. Message me. You can even make a comment down the bottom and I will try and get a message to you to get your details if you're not on my mailing list, if I don't have your snail mail address. So I'll need to grab that from you. Don't put that publicly, but you can send it to me in a message. And the items that I'm playing with today are, of course, the beautiful Garden Walk 6x6 Designer Series papers. I'm also playing with the Calypso Coral braided linen trim and the Modern Garden bundle, which is the stamp set, which I have here, and also the punch. Now, I just wanted to point out, let me just grab the stamp set cover so you guys can see this a bit closer. Let me just point out that the punch it's more like a generic punch. It's a very useful punch because you can do all sorts of things with it. I'm going to show you how to create scallops and an extra piece that can go around this original shape. So you'll have a little bit more to play with when you're using your punch at home. But the punch doesn't actually punch out the flowers or anything like that. So thankfully the flowers are easy to fussy cut, which is what we'll be doing today on our video. And we're going to be using the punch in a couple of different ways. So that's the bundle, and you get 10% off when you purchase the stamp sets and the Modern Oval Punch together. I'm also using some cardstock from our collection. We've got our new colour. Even though the papers don't have this colour in them, I'm going to be using that because it's actually the lighter shade of Pretty Peacock. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Goodness me. It is a colour that's returned, and I'm just going to go and get it so that I can tell you the colour because I've forgotten it. There we go. It's called Lost Lagoon. There it is in the ink pad. So Lost Lagoon is my card base, which obviously is a lighter version of the Pretty Peacock. We had Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon, I think, at the same time, 1 year from memory. But this was a returning favourite into our collection. So it's in our main colour collection. It's now in the Subtles collection, Lost Lagoon, because we lost a couple of Subtles that were in this kind of shade. So I'm really happy to have Lost Lagoon back. So we've got our cardstock in Lost Lagoon, our card base. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick a couple of things down before I stamp. I've got this Designer Series paper. I've cut that. It is in fact 9 centimetres by 14. So 14 and a half, beg your pardon. 9 by about 14 and a half. So it's going to just reach across my card base so that I've got a little gap at the side, which you'll see there. So we're going to put something else there. And I'm also going to put some of the stripes. So I've cut this so that the stripes are going crossways. They're going horizontal. And I'm just going to apply a little tiny bit of my Tombow glue. And I'm going to pop that there. And look, I haven't cut this to the right size. So I'm just going to grab my scissors and trim that off at 14 and a half to match my floral design. So that's there. Now to cover up this, I'm actually going to eventually I'm going to put some rose gold foil. But before I do that, I'm going to make some scallops. So this is where our punch comes in. And I wanted to show you how to make some scallops out of this punch. It is a great shape. You can actually use it vertically if you want to create, and in the catalogue they've actually got a little label on a box, a little tag on a box that's vertical. So it's perfect for tags. You can also use it horizontal. And you can layer it with other things. So we are actually going to layer it with another couple of ovals, modern ovals that will punch out. But first of all, I'm punching out of the Pretty Peacock pieces that I've got here. I'm just going to punch 2 of these modern ovals out. And then I'm going to get my paper snips and I'm going to cut just the rounded ends off these. So where it starts to kind of curve around you just want to cut each of those ends off to create 4, I guess they're little semicircles, if you like. And these will in fact become our scallops. So I'm going to add a little tiny bit of glue, and I'm going to run these down. So the top one is going to meet up at the top where the paper ends, the floral paper, and I'm just going to line them up like this together, going all the way down. Now when you get to the bottom one, you'll notice that it doesn't actually fit, so we're going to trim a little bit of it off, and we'll just kind of have like a half scallop at the bottom. So before I glue, I'm just going to measure that, and I'm going to cut that off where my paper ends, and I'm going to stick a little tiny bit of glue there and just add that to the line of scallops. Okay, so now we need something to finish off this edge here so that it just neatens it up a bit, and that is in fact what our rose gold foil is for. So let me just put a tiny bit of glue adhesive on the back, and we're going to cover that join and all that messiness up, and you'll notice we still see the stripy paper underneath. Okay, we still see that, but we've got a lovely strip of the rose gold, and the rose gold in fact picks up some of the pinks in the designer series paper. It's a lovely warm gold, and so yeah, it's going to tie in with the rest of our project. All right, so I'm going to pop this to the side. That's our card base done, and we will work on, I think we'll work on our flowers next, and then we'll do our greeting. Okay, so I have a small piece of basic white, and this is around about 10 by 7.5. That's all you need. And I've got 3 colours here. I've got Pretty Peacock, Calypso Coral, and Daffodil Delight, the yellow. 3 colours that I'm working with, and I have got some of the stamps here, so I'm going to be using these 2 which lay out with each other. I'm also going to be using these 2 which are a 2-step and layer with each other, and I'm using these as well. These are the middles for my flowers, and I think I'm going to grab this greeting, Enjoy Your Special Day, which could be for graduation, a birthday, anniversary. It could be for anything. So I think that's a nice generic greeting that I can, it means I can keep this card in my stash and use it whenever I might need it. So I'm going to use the Calypso Coral. So you'll notice that one of the stamps in each of the 2-step sets, one of them's plain and the other one's got the details. So the plain one is what I'm starting off with. And I'm going to ink that up, and then just get rid of some of the ink before I stamp it straight down onto my basic white. So you see that's a little bit softer than full strength. Then I'm going to come in with the second layer. I'm not going to stamp it off. I'm just going to stamp it straight down. Basically what you need to do is match up the middle, and then you'll get a lovely 2-tone flower. So you can see the softer Calypso Coral and the darker one. That's perfect. And for the middle, I'm just going to use the larger of the circles and stamp the middle of my flower like that. Super easy. All right, next I'm going to stamp in Pretty Peacock, and I've got a larger and a smaller of these flowers, and they have the same shape. So I'm going to get rid of some of the ink off the larger one and stamp that twice, because we've got 2 of these flowers on our card. And then full strength this time with the smaller one that's going to overlay. I'm going to stamp that straight down, and you'll see where the petals need to go so that they're lined up. And then we need the smaller of the circles to go in the middle of these, because they're a smaller flower, so we don't want to overshadow too much of those petals. So there you go. Now, the secret to cutting out small images is to definitely use your paper snips and leave a little bit of white around your image. Not only does that make it easier to cut out, it's quicker, but it also means that, yeah, you can be a little bit more free and easy with it. You're not having to sort of get too far into the crevices of each of the images. And it actually looks better with a little bit of white. If you go all the way close to your ink where you've stamped, you sort of don't get, it doesn't really offset the image as well on your project. And we want these flowers to stand out. They're going to be sitting over the top of our designer series paper, which is a little bit busy. So we definitely want to have that white around so that they will have a good chance of standing out against that beautiful but busy paper. So there you go. There's my first flower, my second flower. And now I've just got this one to go, which is super easy. I'm just following roughly around the edge. They're so cute, these little flowers. There's quite a few different flowers in here. This is a stamp set that we're going to be using at Craft Alive in a couple of weeks' time. And we'll be creating a different card. But if you want to come along and learn some tips and tricks on how to use this, if you're local to Wollongong or you're planning a day trip, we will be using this stamp set on our Make and Take, which is free. So make sure you come and visit us at the stand. All right, so those flowers are ready to go on. Now what I'm going to do is punch out of the designer series paper. So this is the one that's got the poinsettia on one side and this pattern is on the other side. So I'm just going to slide my punch in. Incidentally, if you've cut your designer series paper and your cardstock to 7.5 by 5, so this is 5 by 7.5. That's the perfect size to go inside this punch, and you'll still have something to hold as you punch out this shape. Okay, so what did I say? 7.5 by 5, perfect size. All right, so we've got this and this. Now what we're going to do with this one is we're going to cut it down the middle. It doesn't have to be straight because you're not going to see those raw edges. And what I'm going to do is just pop some glue on the back, of the paper. And I'm going to slide these along so that they get a little bit of a, like you've got a lip that's showing either side. And it kind of looks like you have a slightly longer punch that you might have used for the backing of this, which will become our word window. It's going to be where our greeting gets stamped. And we're going to emboss that because the designer series paper is a little bit dark, and even if I stamped a dark colour on there, you probably wouldn't see it. So I'm going to just come in with my embossing buddy and give that a bit of a swipe. Then I'm going to grab my greeting, and I think I told you we're going to use Enjoy Your Special Day, which fits, all of the greetings will fit on our modern oval punch, which is great because obviously this stamp set is designed to go with it. So I'm going to ink that up in Versamark. I've got my Versamark here. And stamp that straight down like that. Give it a bit of a wobble if it's a thin stamp because you want to make sure that that catches, all of that image, all of that greeting. And I'm just going to, get rid of the excess powder. I'm using gold. And, my heat tool is over here. Let me just go and grab that. Okay, you plug in, so it works. Alrighty. So let's heat this. That's strange. It's actually not working. I'm not sure why that is. Oh, that That's really strange. Maybe there's something wrong because my light's working, so I might have to investigate that. Anyway, I would emboss that. I would heat emboss that. So I'm just going to leave that to the side, and I'll grab my other heat tool a little bit later on. But I will show you the finished product. So basically what I've done is we'll just say that I've embossed that greeting. I've got some of the Calypso Coral twine, and I'm just going to tie a bow like that. And then I'll just grab a glue dot, and that's going to sit with my flowers. So let me just put my flowers on. I've got some dimensionals floating around somewhere. There we go. Try not to lean in an ink pad. All right, so I'll use my small dimensionals because then I can put a couple of them on each flower, and I'll give them some really good support at the back. These ones may only need one. These little dimensionals are fabulous. You actually get twice as many in the pack as you do with the large dimensionals. So I actually think they're better. They're better value. I love the small dimensionals. And I like how with the black ones, you get some small and some large. So that's quite a good pack to get the large ones. So I'm just gonna put my flowers on, and I'll leave room for my greeting once that's done. I will bring my original card in so you can see the finished product with the greeting. So you can either put your bow there or you could put it down there. I might put it up the top this time, and just grab one of those glue dots, which obviously is great to use if you're not wanting to have drying time, if you're wanting to stick something down really firmly and not worry about waiting for it to dry, and that will stay. That's perfect. All right, so that's my card that I've demonstrated. Let me bring in my original card so you can see it with the greeting. You can see the embossing shining there, and there's my bow, and there are my flowers. So you can do scallops. You can make your word window a little bit differently by punching out the Calypso Coral in this case, cutting down the middle and separating them out, and that just offsets your greeting. Lots and lots of different things, and I'm sure there's other things that we can do with this punch. In fact, when I'm setting up for the show, the Craft Alive show, I will have a little sheet that gives you some more ideas with how to use this punch in slightly different ways. It really is a fabulous punch. So even if you need a new punch, you can get the punch by itself without necessarily getting it with the stamp set. That's just another option for you. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me make that card. It is a beautiful stamp set. And the stamping off technique is great, especially if you've got a darker colour. Don't forget you can stamp off your stamps and get more shades of the same colour, like I did with the Pretty Peacock and the Calypso Coral for these flowers. It really gives them depth and dimension. So there you go. There's my card. I'm going to flip the camera back around. I'll post the card back onto my Facebook page so that you can see the completed card. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great weekend. It's a long weekend here in Australia, so in New South Wales. So we get to have Monday off as well, which is really nice. So if you're local, I hope you have a great long weekend. If you're not, have a great weekend anyway. And I will see you next Saturday. Thanks for watching. Bye.